All right. Yeah, the week before we finished about the sanya. So I already mentioned many examples how you see the dog and cat and how you learn and so on. Now I think by now you all should have a very clear idea about the function of sanya. Now the next one will be formation. All right. So these are the text 131. Even you read like this, it's not easy to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. Now, okay. So in the formation, there are many things. Actually, we have 50. All right. So before we go for 50, let's go for the very basic. Please change the date. Today I put 7. It's supposed to be 9 October. Now we have this self, this I, this mind. So from the idea of self or the perception, even this self is a perception by itself. We perceive we as a human being. We perceive that this I exists. So you have to go beyond this self, go for nama lupa. Now I write Pali because sometimes it's easier for us to just remember the Pali. But might as well you all learn the Pali. So nama is mind. Rupa is matter. Sometimes another translation we call it materiality. Uh, Another one is mental. Okay. Sometimes I will type extra things. So if it's not exist, if you print out, so please fill in yourself. So from the idea of self or clinging to self, then you're supposed to go for the nama lupa. From the nama lupa, nama is the mind. Lupa is the body, so-called the body, right? Or matter or materiality. Then from there, you go further to chitta and cetasika. This nama is made of chitta and cetasika. Okay. So chitta is consciousness. Cetasika is the mental factor or something that accompany the mind. So if you learn Abhidhamma before, it's easier for you. So consciousness and mental factor. So chitta is 89. Normally it's 89. Or there's another number is 121. Cetasika is a mental factor. Then you got Lupa 28. So now that's how we start to learn all the Abhidhamma 89, 52, 28. And after that, from this Chitta Chitta Sika Lupa, which is a huge number, but actually most of the time in the sutta, we don't really see all this number. This was why I was thinking, do we need to learn all those in detail? Like 89, Chitta, 52, 28. We don't really see this number in the sutta. But what we really see is 5 aggregates. What we really see is six sense bases and six sense objects. So these are the Buddha preached in many sutta uh, about how we should contemplate it, and this leads to enlightenment. So we can just skip all these numbers. All right. So we just focus on 5 aggregates. Now the 5 aggregates, there are 28 lupas. So you can read in Visuddhimagga, or you can go to any other Abhidhamma books to read, like the eye, the nose, whatever. There are 28. Okay, so paragraph 84. Yeah, do I write the numbers right? 90. Okay, 80 maybe, not 84. Okay, never mind. I'll check the numbers again. Anyway, up to 80. And then the Vijnana 81 to 124. And then the Vedana 125 to 128 and so on. Okay, Lupa is body, so-called the one body. So how do we contemplate 5 aggregates? Right? So many things about talking about. You should see is Asubha, impurity. 32 body parts. right? So because all these are more obvious to us as we see it. Okay, cannot move. Okay, never mind. All right, so we can go it. Now, feeling, we already say good feeling, bad feeling, neutral feeling, or present feeling, unpleasant feeling. Perception is how you see things, right? Now, this Sankala is not easy because there are 50 of them. So how are you going to meditate 50 things? Okay. Now, according to the paragraph 131, this Sankala, whatever had the characteristic of forming should be understood or taken together as the formation's aggregates. And then so on. And then so this 132 is also about this Sankala. Now, how should we translate Sankala? Now, perception is Vedana, we translate as feeling, which is experiencing. Sankara is perception. Sankara is sometimes we call it formations. Vijnana is consciousness. Since there are 50 of them, so it's not easy to meditate. But you should take whatever obvious, right? Now, so we have to read, if you want to read in detail, 133 to 185. Okay, 133. Because Sankala is something that associate with the consciousness. Okay. Now, how do you get 50? All right. 50 is because we have the mental factor 52. Out of the 52, you put one is taken out as feeling, one is another taken out as sanya, perception. So remaining 50 is, that means that the big group with the big group is under the Sankala. So 52 means 1 plus 1 plus 50. So you got Sankala. So you can read any Abhidhamma book on the Cetasika to understand this Sankala. There are 50 of them. So there are a lot here. So you can see here, actually, if you look at it, most of the things we of course, we are not going to experience them all the time, right? But some will be see like contact, yes, volition sometime, happiness not all the time, concentration and ekagata is one of the universal factor. Faith is not all the time and so on. So these are good and bad. So under the Cetasika, when they associate, when the mind associate with this good Cetasika, so all these are good one. And all these are good things, all right? So there are 50 of them. So how do we meditate? So I will discuss about it later. So if you want to read detail, you go to 133 to 135. Now, I think I would want to skip all this because they are too much. So we later at the end of this paper, we will have some discussion about practical training. So let's go for some theory first. Okay, now, since we have these 5 aggregates, want to know why did the Buddha mention 5 aggregates? Why is it not 2 aggregates? Why is it not 6 aggregates? But why is it only 5 aggregates? So Visuddhimagga actually gives some good explanation and also some extra facts for us to read. And if you calculate everything, you got the 28 Lupa, 52 Cetasika, and then the 121. So you got 201, right? So 201 is mentioned as kind of like ideas in the Patisambhida, the path of discrimination. So it's another book you can read if you want to know the different way of seeing these 5 aggregates. Okay, now we go to 211. right? Okay, before going there, having understood this again as regard these same aggregates, knowledge of aggregates is class 1 as to order, and 2 distinction, 3 as to neither less nor more, 4 and likewise as to simile, 5 and twice as how and to how to be seen, and also to good for one thing. Okay, now the first one, order. So what's meaning order? Order means the sequence. So they are order arising, means how things appear one by one. How you're going to abandon it, how you're going to practice it, something to do with plan and teaching. Now, the first one, order arising. For example, the fetus, their first stage, second stage, and so on. So in the embryo, how it comes to be formed in the human body, or the human come to be. And then this is a Dhamma Sangani or the Dhamma book, things to be abandoned by seeing, things to be abandoned by development. So this is an order of abandoning. Now, if you are talking about if something about sequence or order of practice, like this is a 7 Visuddhi, 7 purification. First, purification of morality, virtue, then chitta, consciousness, and so on. So this is a 7 Visuddhi. Now, if talking about plan, there's a Kama Vachara, sense sphere, and a Rupa Vachara, 5 material sphere. If teaching, according to the sutta, like 4 foundation mindfulness for right efforts, and the thought of giving, thought of virtue, all these are order of teaching. This means that according to the teaching. Okay, now 212, order arising. It's not applicable here because the aggregate do not arise in the order in which they are successfully dealt with, as in the case with the fetus in the first stage and so on, nor is the order of abandoning. All right, nothing to do with the plan and so on. But 5 aggregate is to do with the order of teaching. This means it's something that the Buddha preach, the Buddha teach the disciple. Right, that's the meaning of order teaching. That's means that it linked with the sutta. So you can see 5 aggregates in many suttas. As I mentioned earlier on, actually I read many suttas. I don't really see all these numbers in the sutta, but I do see like 5 aggregates. That's to do with the order of teaching in many suttas. Okay, 213. All right, let's start with Sister Tsai Huan. You can read this one. Read slow. Okay.
Order of teaching is appropriate, however, for there are those people who, while teachable, have fallen into assuming a self among the 5 aggregates owing to failure to analyze them. And the Blessed One is desirous of releasing them from the assumption by getting them to see how the seeming compactness of mass in the 5 aggregates is resolved. And being desirous of their welfare, he first, for the purpose of their easy apprehension, taught the materiality aggregate, which is gross, being the objective feel of the eye, etc. And after that feeling, which feels better as desirable and undesirable, then perception, which apprehends the aspects of feelings, subjective feel, since what one feels that one perceives. Then formations, which form volitionally through the means of perception. And lastly, consciousness, which these things beginning with feeling have as they support and which dominates them. This, in the first place, is how the exposition should be known as to order.
Okay, after your reading, do you understand?
I I think what the text is telling is that in the order of teaching, the Buddha taught Rupa first in order to make people understand they are not self in the five aggregates. So and with the intention of release them from the assumption that there is a self in the five aggregates. So the Buddha taught them start with the Rupa. Then after that, start with the materiality, then feeling, perception, formation, conscious. That means step by step, the Buddha teach.
Okay. All right. So why the Buddha teach one? Okay, because the first one is people have clinging. So when all these fallen, all these are sometimes it's actually coming from the Bali. So it means that people cling to the idea of self. They cling to the five aggregates as self, right? Because they didn't contemplate them. So the Buddha want them to release from it, right? So he start with this one. Why? Because material, the body, materiality aggregate is gross. Because everybody can see your body, you also can see the body of others. So it's easy. Right. So this is the first one. So the feeling will be easy because either good feeling, bad feeling, desirable, undesirable. Then the perception, and then is how you perceive something. Then formation is a lot. Now consciousness will be subtle because consciousness is not something that you can see. It appear very fast. That's why the lupa is slow. Consciousness are fast. Right. So anyway, order of teaching means to sequence according to the sutta. That's the meaning. Now, 216. So that is why now we are actually trying to understand why there are only five aggregates and why they appear rupa first, Vedana first, and so on. So now we are studying generally about the five aggregates. As mentioned before, if you want to know detail, 50 Sankhala, you have to read the paragraph here. We don't have time to go one by one. So if we go one by one, we need to finish in 3 years' time, I think. So this is a short course. I hope to finish in November. If cannot finish, I think cannot finish. So we stop it as part one. Then next year I will continue as part two. So that's better. So 216, Sister Heng. Yes.
16, okay, Saya Ji.
Yes.
Can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. As to neither less nor more. But why are five aggregates? Neither less nor more, mentioned by the Blessed One. Because all form things that resemble each other fall into these groups. B, because there is the widest limit as the basis for the assumption of self and what pertains to self, because of the inclusion by them of the other sorts of aggregates.
Okay. So this is difficult to understand. So I will not answer. Okay, this means that what we say, everything can just put in these five aggregates, into one of these five. All right, that's the meaning here. And this means that if we are talking about self, this self is clinging either to the rupa, to the vedana, to the sanya, sankara. It's either to one of them. So it's something to do with self. Inclusion of them of others. So this one I'm not so sure what I'm trying to say, right? But we are just trying to say most of the things can put inside one of the aggregate, and the self can cling to any of them or all of them. That's the meaning. Okay. Okay, now this is the explanation. Okay, Thomas, you can read 217.
When the numerous categories of formed states are grouped together according to similarity, materiality forms one aggregate through being grouped together according to similarity consisting in materiality. Feelings form one aggregate through being grouped together according to similarity consisting in feeling, and so with perception and the other two. So they are stated as five because similar formed things fall into groups.
You can continue. 218. Yes.
And this is the extreme limit as the basis for the assumption of self and what pertains to self. That is to say, the five beginning with materiality. For this is said, because when matter exists, it is through clinging to matter, through insisting upon interpreting matter, that such a view as this arises. This is mine, this is I, this is myself. When feeling exists, when perception exists, when formations exist, when consciousness exists, it is through clinging to consciousness, through insisting upon interpreting consciousness, that such a view as this arises. This is mine, this is I, this is myself. So they are stated as five because this is the widest limit as the basis for the assumption of self and what pertains to self.
Okay. So do you answer? 218.
Let's see. Basically, he's explaining that similar things are formed to groups because of their similarity, because it's easier to understand. And then it is explained that all these phenomena are based on clinging, on craving, and that everything just exists because of the craving for self and for existence. And that's why all this is formed.
What's the meaning this extreme limit? What do you think?
I think it tries to say it is the biggest possible form. So it includes everything, everything there is, everything we can perceive and we can think about as self and others.
Okay, so or we can say this is the biggest category, right? Because I think sometimes the Pali word limit is actually translated from the another Pali word. So I think this, if we change it to category, will be easy, right? So this means that the five category or five types. So everything can put here, and then the feeling, perception, and so on. Okay, and then the main thing here also how we see it is this view. I think you all heard the Pali Neta Mama, Eta Mama Esoma Esoma Asati. So this I, this my, this when you say this my means you take it belong to you. This I, you have this cling to the sense of I. This cling to sense of self atta. Anyway, this you see in Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. Anyway, thank you, Thomas. All right. Okay, now there's a C here. So there's another one. Okay. It's actually quite same. It's only a little bit here and there. Okay, now we can see. Now, this is actually 220. Quite interesting to read. Okay, Sister T? Yes.
Yes. 220, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. As to simile, the materiality aggregate as object of cleaning is like a sick room because it is the dwelling place as physical basis, door, and object of the sick man, namely the consciousness aggregate as object of cleaning. The feeling aggregate as object of cleaning is like the sickness because it afflicts. The perceptions aggregate as objects of cleaning is like the provocations of the sickness because it gives rise to feeling associated with greed. Owing to perceptions of sense desire and so on, the formations aggregate as object of cleaning is like having recourse to what is unsuitable because it is the source of feeling, which is the sickness. For it is said, feeling as feeling is the form that they form. And likewise, because of unprofitable karma having been performed and stored up, resultant body consciousness has arisen, accompanied by pain. The consciousness aggregate as object of cleaning is like the sick man because it is never free from feeling, which is the sickness.
Okay, thank you. So this is
Thank you.
just a simile. So you all can think about it yourself. It's okay. No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think this one we can. I think this is much more better. This one. Matter, lupa is like dish. So you got one simile here because it bear the food. Perception is like curry sauce. Okay, now you can think about the food you eat. Because owing to perception of beauty, it hides the food which is feeling. Formation aggregate is like server because it's the cause of feeling. And the service itself is included since one who is taking a meal is usually served. Consciousness is like eater. Right. Okay, now all these are simile. You need to think for a while, all right? But basically means that like matter is like we call it the basis. Without this body, the other things cannot exist. So it's like a dish that control that bears the food, right? Perception is like how we see the things. But it's like when we see things good, we see things are beauty, so you will like the food. If you see the food as not good, then you will not like the food. So it's like the curry sauce means the taste itself. And then this is another server. Now, okay, now I think this one I like it. Consciousness is like eater. Now, finally, who is the one that really can have the knowledge of the food? It's the consciousness because it's the one that eat it. When you eat it, you will know the food. So this is an example, similarly. So some of this example really exists in Sutta. Okay. Anyway, all these are still theory. Okay. 225. Brother King, 225.
Okay. As to good for one seeing thus, good comes to be accomplished in one who sees in the two ways, thus in brief and in detail. And the way of definition should be known according to that. That is to say, firstly, one who sees the five aggregates as an object of cleaning in the form of an enemy with drawn sword, etc., is not worried by the aggregates, but one who sees materiality, etc., in detail as a lump of froth, etc., is not one who sees a core in the coreless.
Okay, you can continue. 226,
Yeah.
yes.
And in particular, one who sees internal materiality as foul, ugly, fully understand nutriment consisting of physical nutriment. He abandons the perversion of perceiving beauty in the foul, ugly. He crosses the foot of sense desire. He is loose from the bond of sense desire. He becomes canker-free as regards the canker of sense desire. He breaks the body tie of consciousness. He does not cling with sense desire clinging.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think 225, so either you see five aggregates in brief or detail, right? Okay. So in Mini Sutta, the Buddha said our rupa is compared to a lump of froth. This means that our body is like looks solid to you, but actually it has many small things. Like when you see a froth means kind of like bubbles. From far it look quite solid, but when you go inside to eat, it have many small things. That's the meaning here. That means that if you analyze it, it's chorus. Chorus means that it lack of sustain. That's the meaning. Okay, now I think 226 is more important. Now, how should you see the rupa? See as asubha, foul, ugly. Then you abandon the subha. Okay. Okay, now what I do is I want you all to focus on this table again. So I'm going to insert one column. Okay. So now how should we see these 5 of them? So you should see the body as agri. Agri means impurity. Asubha. Right. So the body asubha. So that's how we should see the body. Okay. Okay. Something wrong with the font. Okay, never mind. All right. So this is according to paragraph 2. Okay. All right. 2 to 6. We should see the body as foul, ugly, to abandon the beauty. Now, 2 to 7.
Sorry, Saji. Sorry.
Mhm.
225, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean by the one who sees materiality in detail as a lump of froth is not the one who sees a core in the corners? Meaning what?
Oh, okay, okay. If you see like the body or rupa is made of many small things like finally like when they get deep concentration they see like kalapa means unit of matter. So when you see the body is now what we see the body to us is like solid a mass thing. Okay. So but if you see in detail it's actually like small things. First like it's made of 4 great elements, it made of 32 body parts, or it made of many unit of matter called kalapa. So it's like lump of froth. So that's mean that there's no sustain in it. That's mean that you see things as colorless. If you see things as cold, that's mean that there's a wrong view here. If you see things as cold, this means that you thought there's a self, living beings, a kind of like solid things in the body. All right. So that's a meaning. Can you follow?
But the one who sees in brief or the one who sees in detail are actually seeing 5 aggregates as impermanent and no self, is it?
Here is talking more on non-self. It does not talk about anicca. It's talking about non-self. Colorless means no sustain. No sustain means is non-self. It's like sunyata, emptiness.
No, beginning it says there are 2 ways of seeing the
Okay, this one.
5 aggregates, right? So one is seeing in brief, the other one is seeing in detail. So then he said the definition is the first one, the one who see in brief is the one who see the 5 aggregates as object in the clinging form as an enemy. Then the second one who sees the
this one.
rupa, is it? I also don't understand.
Okay, firstly, one who sees fire as an object in the form of animal is not worried about this one. Okay, so this is the brief and detail. But I think it didn't mention about brief and detail. Did it mention it? Particular. Okay. Did it mention about what is brief or detail here? So it only kind of by the way of definition. But I think I'm not sure where is the brief and detail. But what I see here, this is talking about non-self here. Okay. About
Okay. So the core is the wrong view lah. The corners is the right view lah, is it?
The core is we call it sustain. Sometimes we have the kind of like sustain. Sustain means that, for example, like when people have the idea of self. So when they have the idea of self, what kind of idea they have? They believe that like there's a self sleeping inside the body or live inside the body. So like when like they say when you go and sleep, the self come out from the body, they travel around the world, or when you're sleeping, the self come out, then start to dream, start to talk to people. So that's mean that they believe there's something solid inside. So that's the main core. Can you follow? Now, colorless means things are just like the body is not one body. The body made of many parts. So there's no something hard or solid. Even the body, if you open out, there are many, many parts inside. So that's the meaning corporeal. You can
Okay,
take it as
correct.
substantial thing. Oh, that's the meaning here.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Right. Now I think
Teacher,
yes,
teacher.
brother Lee. Yes.
Yeah, is it saying that something like where is it now?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
core and the callers.
Mm-hmm.
Does it say something like core is every time we see a thing, we see a body, it's compact. So we
Okay.
thought that is a compact thing, and we do not see it as a sonata, no? So, but if you would see in detail, we are all broken up in pieces. Actually, we are cordless. Is it like that?
Okay. Now he see good comes to accomplishment who see in two ways. So either he see in brief or detail, doesn't matter, as long as he see rightly. All right.
Yeah, see that
Okay.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. So one way is see things as the body is the detail means that made of many, many things, many, many small things. Right. So this means that see material, the body made of small things. Another one is try to see it as colors. So either two. Either you see in brief or detail, doesn't matter, as long as you see correctly. Okay.
Okay. Right. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So 226 talking about you should see the body, rupa, as asubha to abandon the subha. Now we read 227 and 228. Okay, next person. Melinda? Yes.
Okay, thank you, Saji. One who sees feeling as pain fully understands nutriment consisting of contact. He abandons the perversion of perceiving pleasure in the painful. He crosses the flood of becoming. He is loose from the bond of becoming. He becomes canker-free as regards the canker of becoming. He breaks the bodily tie of ill will. He does not cling with rules and vows clinging. One who sees perception and formation as not self fully understands nutriment consisting of mental volition. He abandons the perversion of perceiving self in a not self. He crosses the flood of views. He is loose from the bond of views. He breaks the bodily tie of interpretation, insistent that this is the truth. He does not cling with self-theory clinging.
Okay, thank you. Now, feeling we should see as pain. Sanya, Sankala, we should see as non-self. So it's good we write in the table, then you can see how do you see the truth here. So feeling as pain. So that means that it's dukkha. Sanya is non-self. Anatta. Sankala also same. Okay. So you can see we got Asubha, Dukkha, Anatta. So another one is, okay, I'll just, for those want to copy. Right, so Rupa is Agri, Asubha, because you got 32 body parts. Feeling, you should see as pain. Like, why pain? You can think about it. Feeling, you have good feeling, bad feeling, and neutral feeling. But even good feeling, it will not last. So in a way, it's painful. Painful feeling, of course, is painful. Neutral feeling, it also will not last. So after all the feeling gone, everything will just be painful. Now, Sankala, Sanya Sankala is non-self. Okay. Let's go back to that. So feeling you should see as pain. Perception and formation see as non-self. This one is say because nutriment. Now, what is nutriment? Nutriment sometimes, beside talking about body nutriment, we have the ahara. Ahara, the one is a phassa, contact, right? Contact, there's one way to see. Here, but he said it's a chetana, right? Chetana is a mental volition. Chetana. But it does not give any further information. Okay, 2 to 9. One sees consciousness as anicca, impermanent. Then you understand nutriment consistent of consciousness. He abandons the perversion of perceiving permanence in the impermanent. He crosses the flood of ignorance. He is loose from the bond of ignorance. He becomes canker-free as regards the canker of ignorance. He breaks the bodily tie of holding to rules and vows. This means there's a silabata paramasa, those wrong practice. He does not cling with the false view of clinging. So this consciousness he sees as impermanent. So see as anicca. Right? So remember we are talking about, we have four truths: anicca, dukkha, anatta, and asubha. Right? So normally people will take things as nicca, sukha, atta, and subha. So, but the truth is, we should see as anicca, dukkha, anatta, asubha. Right? So this means that our job as a meditator, you should got rid of this self, proceed to be aware of nama rupa all the time, then try to see all the way chitta cetasika to 5 aggregates. Or with the wrong view of nicca, sukha, atta, subha, try to see anicca, dukkha, anatta, and subha. And how you're going to match this anicca, dukkha, anatta? You should match according to the 5 aggregates. So which one is asubha, which one is dukkha, which one is anatta, which one is anicca, according to paragraph just now. So I think with so many sutta, this is the Visuddhimagga is the only sutta that give us kind of idea how should we see these 4 truths together with the 5 aggregates, and which aggregate is showing which truth, like this. Okay, so nicca is permanent, sukha is happiness, atta is self, subha is beautiful. So that is because we cling to the idea of self. So we try to see things as anicca, dukkha, anatta, and asubha. So the body is asubha. Of course, only the body we can see as asubha. Feeling is dukkha. Sanya sankhara is not self. And consciousness is anicca. But I don't think the text will mention why the vijnana is anicca. But we can think it because vijnana is very fast. Vijnana appears and disappears. That's why we can see the impermanence much more easier compared to you try to see impermanence in the body. Body is slower. Okay. I think you all copy already, so I continue. Now, it does not mention much why consciousness is impermanent, but that's all. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's a place here you can also fill in like just now. Actually, yeah. Like I mentioned above just now, all the extra notes you can put here. Okay. Like Lupa, you should perceive it as 28 beauty, right? Yeah, sorry, I forgot this table. People see as beauty. So it's happy. Sanya is belong to self. Self. So this is a permanent. So abandon as a, when you see the body, abandon this one. Okay. So people see the body as beautiful all the time. People see the feeling as happy all the time. People see the sanya belong to everything you see, you will just link with the idea of I see this, I see that, or this thing belong to me, this thing belong to that. Or sankala, or your memory, or your happiness, or your mental formation, or everything yours belong to self and permanent. Okay. And how should you abandon it? We can think about that, all right? How you should abandon it? Through what? Through what? You can contemplate like contemplate the 32 body parts, or you can do other methods, or how you should contemplate, you all can think about it. Which method or which practice you can do. Okay. Now let's talk about some practical training. So before I break for later. Now, in sitting meditation, how do you see all this? In walking meditation, in standing meditation, in lying down, how are you going to see this? Now, we're talking about the body. So in sitting meditation, what is actually the body? How do you note the 5 aggregates in the sitting? So one way, if like you are practicing Mahasi, you just aware of the whole body. So just focus the concept of the body. Of course, when we start to meditate, we still have the idea of the body. So you can just look at the body, just feel it. But after that, you need to practice. Either you can practice of 4 great elements. Because among all the lupa, the 4 great elements, the Patavi, Apo, Teja, Vayu, all these are the most obvious one. The other 24 are the derivative lupa. So, and feeling when you do sitting meditation, what is the feeling you can have? For example, if you feel hot, you feel cold, so you can just contemplate accordingly. Or maybe you feel stiff at the sitting place. And when you have the perception, so what kind of perception will happen when you are in sitting? There's a perception of what? Perception of the body. Even you are sitting, there will be a perception of the body sitting. How do you know you're sitting? Because when you close your eyes, you don't see the body sitting, but you still have to hold the perception that I'm sitting. So there's a perception here. Now, in the 50 Sankala, there are many things like there are 50 Sankala. So in the sitting time, not all will come, but sometimes maybe you feel is energetic, or you feel concentrated, or you feel mindfulness. There are 50 of them. So you can just write whatever is obvious. Maybe at that time you feel the effort to maintain the body. Or you feel that if you have joy in sitting, right? Now, consciousness. So in sitting time, there will be bodily consciousness. In the body consciousness, we have two. One associate with the kusala vipaka, another one is akusala vipaka. Okay? So you can write down yourself. This is just a suggestion of how you can contemplate. Right? So this means that when you see in Namalupa, then for Namalupa, you go to the Chitta, Chittasika, and Rupa. Then from there, you break down to 5 aggregates. And 5 aggregates means that you just contemplate whatever is obvious and just make a mental note. You don't need to actually, in meditation time, no need to say, oh, this is what aggregate, this is what aggregate. But if you practice more, all this will appear to you automatically. Oh, I know this is belong to which aggregate. Now, in walking time, So anybody want to try this? For those practice? Okay, Vera, you can try. Walking time. How do you contemplate the 5 aggregates? Vera?
Good evening, Saiji. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, before we do the walking meditation with the standing position first.
Okay.
During the standing position, feel the stiffness of the body, the rupa, the stiffness,
Okay, so stiffness should put
uprightness.
under the feeling, right? It is the feeling here, stiffness. Okay. So
Uprightness of the body.
okay. So the body upright.
Scan the body standing. Feel the body
Okay.
standing there.
Standing, okay.
Then standing.
Okay.
Then you want to turn, you feel the intention to turning. The intention.
I mean walking time, walking meditation.
Walking, then you feel your leg lift. Okay. Lifting. Pushing.
Okay, leg
Feel the leg lifting.
lifting. Okay, yes.
Either you do the first or second or third phase. Lifting,
Okay.
pushing, dropping.
Okay.
You feel the heaviness. This under what?
Heaviness.
Heaviness.
Heaviness under the
Lightness of
body.
the
Yeah.
heaviness, lightness.
Okay.
And
Now, how about the
the
sanya?
sensation.
So which one is under sanya? What do you think?
Sensation is virana, isn't it?
Yeah, sensation. Any
If
sensation, yes.
you the hotness, the sanya.
Hotness, okay.
Hotness, coldness.
Okay,
The
so
four elements.
okay. So how do you know is sanya working when you feel the hotness, coldness? How do you know it's a sanya working?
How you know the sanya working?
That's the question. Perception.
Perception.
Yeah, okay. So what is the perception? What kind of perception is in walking meditation is much more obvious. In walking meditation?
You know this, you lift your leg, you know that you are lifting the leg.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So lifting, like when
Pushing,
you say
know you're
lifting,
pushing.
yeah. So actually it's kind of labeling, right? So we can put
Yeah.
it labeling. So in Mahasi Center is we do the kind of label, lifting, pushing, dropping. Yeah. Okay. So this is labeling. Yeah, for beginners, we should label properly. So lifting, pushing, dropping, or we label left, right, right? So
Yeah.
this is really the function of sanya. Okay, it's very distinct. So that's why we do all this walking exercise again, just for us to understand the sanya. Okay, Ken?
Yeah.
How about the sankala?
The thinking mind.
Thinking
Whether
mind.
is it all the 50 mental chitasika.
Chitasika, yes. So which one is obvious in when you are doing the walking
Wandering
meditation?
thoughts.
Wandering thoughts in walking meditation.
Yeah, you walk, and then sometimes you're planning to go home, or you remember, you forgot something before you come.
This is a restless mind already. It's no more in walking meditation. Okay, so okay, let's say you walk properly.
Vidana, Sanya, Sankara,
Okay.
Vijnana, and this one.
Which is obvious. Okay, obvious will be intention, right? Intention, yeah. Not intention want to go home. Intention want to walk. Okay, intention to want to go home is not under the walking meditation. It's under the Chittanupassana already. Now, okay, now what is the vijnana? What kind of word vijnana? It's much more obvious.
The loba, dosa, moha,
In
the
walking meditation, loba, dosa,
sometimes
moha.
Mm, mm, uh, greed arises, or we must not whether the greed arises, the
No, we are still talking about
desire,
walking meditation. Why you go to greed arises in walking
because
meditation?
our minds wanders.
No, then this one you should put under the daily activities, you know. You can put any greed arises in daily activities
Sorry,
and so on. So,
keep
okay.
talking.
All right.
Then
So
you
in walking
are noticing
meditation,
that
what is the consciousness that will arise in walking meditation?
you are aware of that you
Yeah.
are walking, you're lifting
Awareness
awareness.
of foot movement,
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that is okay if you write there. No, the wandering mind, restless mind, so on.
I lump all together already, sorry.
Okay. Okay, now standing meditation. So it's actually same above. So actually, since 5 aggregates arise together, they all arise together. It's only from we call it perspective, how you see it. Because when the rupa arise, the nama also arise. And then nama arise, the vedana, sanya, sankala, vijnana. So all these are under the nama, right? Okay. So they all rise together in it's only which how you see it. Oh, what we're trying to see. With 28 rupa, which is the obvious one. Okay. And the sanya, and out of the 50 sankala, which is the obvious one that we should doing. Now standing meditation. So I think this is okay, I just do it again. So actually easy. Now you standing, what is the most obvious one? Of course, you feel the earth element. Why? Because like you feel the feet is heavy, right? Or the body is heavy. When you're standing for some time, you feel the body is heavy, especially the lower part of the lower body. And what is the feeling? Now, if you have good concentration, maybe you feel, if you have good concentration, you feel maybe a good feeling. What kind of good feeling? Maybe you feel light. Okay. Or you feel, if you have standing for some time, maybe you're complaining, the mind complaining, you have bad feeling, you feel stiff, or maybe the leg is numb, or all these are leg numb. Sanya. So when standing, what is the most obvious perception? So the perception of standing, when you close your eyes, you know that you are not sitting. When you close your eyes, you know you are standing, because the mind still observe the body, or the mind know the body is in standing. So there's a perception there. Or if you want other perception, for example, you standing, you feel maybe you feel something touching the body. If you know if you're standing, or you feel the clothes touching. Okay. So that's a perception there, right? You know you're naked or not naked, of course you know lah. That's definitely touching the body, right? And out of the 51, so let's say if you had joy, you can put joy. If you have mindfulness, you can put mindfulness. Yeah. Like if you want to put greed, in standing, what is a greed? Not much on greed, I think. Maybe joy or mindfulness, or actually most of the time is effort is strong, because you need some effort to maintain a standing. Okay. And then this, of course, if you notice the body consciousness also can. Or maybe in standing meditation, you are paying attention to sound. So you can write hearing consciousness or seeing consciousness or something. All right. Or the best is actually bodily consciousness or body consciousness. You're afraid of the body is standing. There's a much more obvious one. Okay. Now lying down. Okay. Try. Let's see. Jen, you want to try this one? Have you practiced Vipassana before?
Yes.
Okay, try. What is the most obvious lupa while you're lying down?
The body is supported by the bed.
Okay, body. Yeah, I mean, yes, it's obvious, but out of these 28 lupas, which one is you have learned Abhidhamma before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
I think the same as standing, the earth element, because the
yeah,
body is
earth,
supported.
yeah, okay. So you feel the earth elements is obvious, right?
Mm.
So earth element manifests as heaviness, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what kind of feeling you will have while you're lying down? Good sleep. So
Relax.
relaxed feeling. Yeah, that's nice. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, now what is the perception you will have, Sanya?
Perceptions. Being supported by the bed.
Okay, yes. Being supported. Okay, yes. Then the Sankara?
Sankara, peace.
Okay, peace, yes. Or under Sukha or happiness, okay, can.
Yep, Sukha.
Now, so Vijnana, any consciousness arise?
Consciousness, usually I will start feel breathing to kind of relax my
Okay,
mind.
so let's say breathing. So what is the consciousness associated with breathing?
Breath consciousness.
Do we have breath consciousness?
Consciousness, I don't know, I can't remember.
Actually, breathing is actually associated with the body, of course. So you
Okay.
have the body consciousness, yeah. Same also. Because most of the time is to do with the body. Body is very easy. But let's say if you are lying down, maybe you feel what you call it, what is it? Actually there's one consciousness we call it body consciousness with happy feeling. There's a Sukha Sahagata Kaya Vijnana. Okay, anyway. Okay, let's finish this one. So before we do this one. Okay. So I think you all try yourself. Right. So I do this for let's see. This one, when you see something or you hear something, let's say you see something. So of course the obvious one will be the object. Object is what kind of object? Visible object when you see something. So at that time, visual object and your eye. All these are belong to rupa. And then feeling. Let's say if you see something make you happy, so maybe you have good feeling or bad feeling, up to you. And the perception of you see a dog, a cat, or whatever. And then sankara. Maybe if you see a dog you love, so maybe you have a joyful feeling, okay, or any feeling. But actually, when you see something, there's always effort. So among all the sankara, effort actually the most obvious one. Effort to see. Or sometimes another obvious one will be intention. Intention to see. If there's no intention to see, there's not see this one. So at this time here, definitely is no more bodily. It's a eye consciousness. Okay. So for these two, okay, we have 5 minutes break, and then you all try to write yourself. Okay, so we stop here for a while. Okay, now you can think about that in daily activities, how you perceive the hands. Like we wash the hands, how you feel. You feel like, for example, you feel the water element outside, right? Outside, or sometimes you can feel your hands. How you feel the hands? Maybe you feel the hands is wet. So hands is under what? You feel the skin, skin is under the all the body parts. And then feeling. Now, when you wash the hand, it's cool feeling. So literally, because of cool feeling, normally we have a good feeling. So it's cool feeling, so you like it. So perception of washing, how you know? Because when you close your eyes, you know you're washing because you can feel the water touching the hand. So you can feel the flowing. So you can perception of we call it the water moving, right? And then sankala. So it depends how you feel. When you wash your hand, you need to have effort. Maybe at that time you got joy or you got happiness or you got peacefulness or whatever you can write down. So then what is the most obvious consciousness? Sometimes when you wash your hand, you need to use your eyes. Okay. Normally you need to use your eyes to see. Because normally we wash the hand, we still open the eyes to see. So sankala you can write anything. Now eating also, when you eat, what is the obvious one? The food, and then your tongue. So your tongue is under this one, lupa. So what is the feeling? If you eat good food, you have a happy feeling. So happy feeling means joyful feeling. So happy feeling means good feeling. Perception. So when you eat the food, you know the taste. You know it's a hot or it's a sweet or whatever. Okay. Now sankala. So of course there must be effort in eating. Chewing also in chewing. And then there will be tongue consciousness. So of course in eating there are other things. You need to use your eyes to see. So there will be eye consciousness also. Actually, most of the time we use our eyes to see. And also there will be nose consciousness. You need when you're eating, there will be sense of smelling. So beside tongue, you also need the nose. So we are actually using our tongue and nose of eye also when you're eating things. So actually all this happen to us all the time. It's only we don't really analyze it is under which element, which category and so on. So just
Taiji, sorry.
yes.
So for the eating, right? Can we say got greed, then got
Yeah,
chitta
sure.
consciousness?
Says greed you can put under this greed is cetasika is under the greed. Yeah. So greed cetasika. Yes, you also can have the greedy mind. Greedy mind, yes, greedy mind. Loba mula chitta. Okay. All right. So you can just write whatever you want as long as it makes sense to you and to others. Okay. But actually, most of the time we don't go and analyze so much in detail because all these are much more theoretical. But actually, sometimes if you are very expert, so sooner or later you can see how your mind perceive things. When you see something, when you hear something, your mind really give labeling. Right? Perception is kind of labeling. You label, oh, this is a dog, this is a cat. Like last time when the dog and cat fighting, how you know which one is dog? Because dog is bigger, cat is smaller. But what happened if your dog is smaller, the cat is bigger? Then you get confused. Which is a big dog, which is a small dog. All right. Okay. So all this take place all the time. So you just write whatever you want. There's a plenty of space and then you're all right. Okay, now if no question, I want to go for the next chapter. Stop here.